All right, shalom, shalom. We're the Hebrew Israelites who come out here week in, week out to prophesy the downfall of America, to let the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans know that we are the true children of Israel according to the Bible. To let the so-called white man know that he is Esau, all right, and that America is Babylon and Sodom and Egypt, and that it will be destroyed in the third world war, which is going to be a nuclear war. So with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Rakakwadash, giving double honors to our apostles and the elders of GMS, salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, of the men and the women who follow. So let's get Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 from the top.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright.
Right. So who is the ungodly? Can we get Job 9 and 24? You know, and
this is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Right, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who's ruling the world right now? You know, it's not Japhet ain't ruling the goddamn world right now. There's no talk of Japhet ruling the world. No, Esau is ruling the world. Esau is the one who is prophetically spoken of for these last times. All right, Esau is the wicked. He is the one who's ruling the world. So when it said that what did it say? Who was not reasoning in the right?
Not reasoning in the right. Yep.
Who what do they call them?
I'll read it again. The ungodly.
The ungodly, kind.
Yep.
The ungodly is speaking about Esau Edom. All right. Who is the wicked? All right, because you have three. Here we go. Yeah, I'll get this for you. This is Revelation chapter 9 and 15. It says, and the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men.
Right, and that third part of men, who is that third part of men talking about? Now you have three distinctions of men. You have the sons of the wicked, which are the Edomites, the so-called white people. You have the sons of the sons of men, which are the rest of the heathen nations, and you have what? The sons of the Most High, or the sons of how's it about the sons of the son? I forget the exact term, but you know, you have the third part of men is speaking about Esau, Edom, right? And these men, the wicked, the ungodly, that reason not aright, that make up unrighteous decrees, that make up rules as they go to fit their agenda. That's the third part of men, right? As the brother brought out in Job 9 and 24, the wicked who have control over the earth. These are the ones who are coming up with these legislations, taking away particular rights. These are the ones who are going to war for the sake of resources, but they put it on the front as a safety for Americans. Right. This is the third part of men. Can we get Proverbs 16? Was that Proverbs 16 and verse 4? Because all the things that the third part of men are doing is going to be recompensed, like the brother brought out in Revelation. All right. Because here it is. You know, you have you have all these things going on throughout the world, right? Be it like I mentioned, the legislations. You know, you have the jacked up foods, the GMO foods, the foods that are being printed off, and you think that this is the way of living, but there's an actual demonic source or demonic individual that's behind it, being Esau Edom.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be let's get into it.
Yeah. This is Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 4. The Lord hath made all things for himself.
Right. The Lord had made all things for himself. All the nations he have created, all the elements he have created, all the beasts of the field he have created. All right. You go ahead.
Yea, even the wicked
The wicked
for the day of evil.
for the day of evil. And when you go into that word wicked, you go into the Hebrew definition, where the Hebrew word, first and foremost, is rashad, which means a guilty one guilty of a crime, pretty much a criminal. He says the Most High have preserved the criminal, the wicked, for the day of wrath. Can we get 2nd Ezra 3? I believe it's towards the end. I believe that's it. I be getting 3 and 6 mixed up. But the Most High says he had preserved them for the day of wrath. Because here it is, us that to our best abilities strive to be upright in spirit, upright in conduct, and put forth the righteous judgment of YAHAWASHI. We looking at these heathen nations like, damn, they doing all kind of stuff in the earth. They splicing animals. They mixing eel with fucking squirrels. That not literally, but they do things of that nature, right? They printing off food. They printing off watermelons. Like, what type of evil individual are you to be able to continue to do these things? Okay, but that's why I want to get this. The 2nd Ezra, I believe it's 3.
Which one?
Where it says, "Are they the day of Babylon?
Okay.
Are they of Babylon better than the day of Zion?" Let's see if I can pull it up. I'll pull it up. Second Ezra's, yeah, 2nd Ezra's 3. Yep, 2nd Ezra's 3, and you can start at verse 28.
2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 28. It says, "Are their deeds then any better than Saki?"
No. That's good.
Because we're going to have to go through the whole,
Yeah.
2nd Ezra 3 and 28. "Are their deeds then any better that inhabit Babylon, that they should therefore have dominion over Zion? For when I came thither and had seen impieties without number, then my soul saw many evildoers."
And what is impieties? When you go into that word impieties, I'm gonna give a rough definition so brothers can look it up. But impieties, it means it means to be. It's a form of idol worship. Impiety. Actually, let's get it. Let's get that, because I don't want to wing
and all of that. So.
Let's get into that. And it spoke about impieties being numerous in number. All right, now, so we're gonna get into it and we're gonna elaborate. All right.
The word impiety, wickedness, irrelevance, ungodliness, disloyalty, treason.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, what is it not? When impieties is at a higher level, that means what? Idol worship more likely is at a higher level. Meaning what? That you're not worshiping the Father of the Bible.
I got you.
Go ahead.
Just the adjective of impious says irreligious, lacking reverence for the Most High.
Here we go.
Without reverence, irreverent, wicked, undutiful, unpatriotic.
And it really boils down like that's a beautiful water for that, but that's beautiful because it eventually boils down to the fear of the Most High not being at an all-time high.
Yeah.
People, what it's talking about is individuals living how they want to live. You're not showing any reverence to the Heavenly Father. You're not worshiping His laws, statutes, commandments. You're not giving respect unto Him. You're not calling upon His name. And that's what it says. It says that what? Can we read that again in 2nd Ezra? Because we have a lot of that going on right here. Right in Babylon the Great, man. AKA America.
2nd Ezra 3 and 29. For when I came thither and had seen impieties without number.
Impieties without number. Unbelief at a high level. Lack of respect for their Heavenly Father on a high level. What does Babylon the Great push? Everything that it wants to push.
Yeah.
The alphabet community. Right? You can eat anything. It don't matter. And somebody told, you know what somebody told me in the past? They told me, and this is before I was introduced up to the truth. They said that no, you can eat pork hot dogs as long as you put mustard on it. It cancels out the pork. That's somebody literally told me that, right? And the reason being, it's not because it's any scientific proof that backs it. It's the fact that individuals like to do what they want to do, and you try to find a reason or a loophole to make it right.
You see, brother, that's why that's why the Lord was talking about the mustard seed. You know, the mustard seed is so powerful, it can cancel out the ill effects of the pork, brother. See, you got to
right, but which is at the end of the day, is illogical.
Right.
And in this world, and you can see it for yourself. You don't have to take our word. You can see the things that these people do. A lot of these things that the people do is illogical, man. All right, to completely change around your sexual orientation is illogical. For what? Because what does America say? In God we trust. When they swear in the president, what do? Swearing on the Bible. In God we trust. Then you turn around and you do something that's totally against the scriptures in that, where it says, be fruitful and multiply. Two men together can't reproduce. You can't multiply. Two women can't reproduce. You can't multiply, right? You know, so that just shows you the illogic and the stupidity of the leaders that be in this place, man. And that notion is pushed among the American people. That's why it's hard to get through to people, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. So 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 6, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Their hurtful works are fulfilled, man. This is why you see cancer at an all-time high. All these different ailments that are upon the people at an all-time high, because the foods don't have any nutrients. The foods are full of poisonous chemicals, right? But the thing is, certain places throughout the world have banned the same food that America pushes out, right? Democracy is that pushing your ways on people. The MOTB is a perfect example. All right, pushing that you could just live irreligiously and believe in whatever power that you want to believe in. That's wickedness at an all-time high, right? If you want to elaborate on it as well, you can, brother. But we can we can get back to that 2 Ezra 3 and finish that about Shah. You know. You got men all over the place wearing dresses. You got women that's walking around with their traps and their shoulders bigger than men. You know, it's a place full of confusion, man.
Come. 2 Ezra 3 and 29, it says, for when I came thither, I had seen impieties without number. Then my soul saw many evildoers in this 13th year, so that my heart failed me.
Right, and that correlates with today, man, because when you see impieties at an all-time high, pretty much impieties, when you're able to do what you want to do, there's no guidelines, no restrictions, it's appeasing to the flesh. When it's appeasing to the flesh, you got a lot of people that's going to cling to it. That's why it says, can we get that in the Gospels, where it says that straight is the gate, right? Because when you see wickedness at an all-time high, you see everybody doing it, that's the hip thing, you're going to have a whole lot of followers of that notion. I believe it's in the 7th chapter. I can't remember the particular verse. Matthew 7.
You ain't no joke today, boy.
Hey, that wind's been going. That wind's been going crazy. I was watching the Apostles live stream. That wind was,
This is Matthew chapter 7 and verse 13. It says, "Enter ye in at the straight gate, For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
That's it. Wide is the gate, and read that again, Slocky.
Straight is the enter ye in at the straight gate.
The straight gate, and that straight is it's STRAIT, which is a form of difficulty. Straights are difficulties, adversities. You know, things that pretty much hurdles that you'll have to go through to get to a point. And it tells us to enter in at the straight gate. Go ahead.
For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
Because it's easy to do whatever you want. It's easy to just walk outside, see a woman that you think look good, body nice, the face look good, and you just roll up on her, you talking to her, she got a man, but damn, man, I'm already here, she vibing. And then you go along with it. It's easy to do that. It's more of a difficulty to be like, damn, she got a dude. All right, no, it's all good, shorty, I'm gonna pass. Because we're men like women. That's just the expedient example. But it's easy to go and do what you want. It's easy to go down to the store and buy a cheap bundle of unlawful meat to eat because you're short on funds. It's harder to say, man, I'm just eat these rice and beans. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead, brother.
And many there be which go in thereat.
Right, and this is why the 2/3 outnumber the 1/3, because the 2/3 are gonna run into that broad gate. You can flood into that gate. Everybody doing it. I ain't gonna look stupid running in here because everybody else doing it.
Right.
I'm good. But that leads to destruction, man. And this is why us, now kind of turning it over to the men of the Lord and those that truly believe. This is why we have to be on a more straight and narrow. This is why we receive so much criticism from the world, because we actually want to walk to a gate where, okay, we have to deal with adversities, man.
Precept.
And it's not going to be easy, but it's necessary. We're all learning, starting with myself to other brothers as well. It's a learning process, but it's more beneficial to our salvation. You got it, brother.
This is 1 Peter chapter 4, and I'll start at verse 3. It says, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles.
The time past of our life may have sufficed us to live the will of the Gentiles. And that suffice, can we get that? Right? I kind of got an idea what it means. We're going to get the actual factuals. But that's showing what? That we once were a part of a wicked generation that didn't believe. That didn't correlate with the spirit of YAHAWASHI. That was doing whatever they wanted to do. And whoever has it, you got it.
I got it. Blue letter.
Yeah, that's
okay. It's Sean G 7:13, which is sufficient, enough, satisfactory.
Satisfactory. Can we read that again?
Concept.
And put satisfactory in there. Satisfied.
Okay. 1 Peter chapter 4 and 3, it says, for the time past of our life may satisfy us that have wrought the will of the Gentiles.
And the will of the Gentiles is what? I ain't gotta follow the law, statutes, and commandments. I can eat what I want. I can put my rod in whatever woman I want. I can smoke. I can do whatever. We were satisfied in that, because not all of us did those exact works, but we wasn't. We was alienated from the cross of the the Lord. That means we was just living. And we were satisfied. We were suffice. And now that we through the grace and power of YAHAWASHI, of course, we were able to come out of that. Now we're able to see the same thing that our people are into. And they're satisfied. That's why they don't come to the word. They're satisfied with how they live. They're satisfied with terrible conditions. That's why they're thinking about, hey, my son going to make it to the NBA. He going to be a hard hitter in the NFL, and he only 3 years old in this generation. Because you're satisfied with how you're living. You're willing to struggle in this place, right? You said you had precept?
Well, I mean, it's more than this, but
it's like, go ahead.
Yeah, let's finish that Peter's, and then we go to the next precept.
It says, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, reveling, banqueting, and abominable idolatries.
That means what? We was
party.
We was partying, bullshit,
and party and bullshit.
Living our life like it's golden.
Living la vida loca.
I'm talking about we You know, and this is not literal, but this is the spirit that's out there. Going to the clubs every weekend.
Yeah, but that's reveling. That's reveling.
Yeah.
You know, partying, just like
Party
clubbing there in the. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, that's reveling and banqueting. You know, like they got a big back party. Like, yeah, like I seen the post. Like they threw a big back party. Like, you know how they get the balloons with the letters and shit, and it said big back. And then they went, Then they went out like all kinds of food, KFC and pizzas and burgers. They went to like 15 different restaurants, and they had a big back party. Like they be doing the fucking mukbangs and shit.
Yeah, I got that banqueting in the blue letter as well. They said Sean G 4224, a drinking bout or carousal. And when you go into carousal, it's just to drink plenteous amounts of alcohol and just
you just
be wild.
Just throwing that shit back.
Hey, think about well, we just picked up a bottle on the way out here just to get it out of our vicinity, man. We came out here because that's a whole bottle of Don Julio sitting right on the curb. You know, get rid of it. But no, just getting into that is let's read that precept again. So I kind of lost my train of thought.
All right. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 3, it says, "For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles."
Right, and the Gentiles, when you go into Gentiles, that goes into ethnos, right? That means you're in being a Gentile, you're being in a heathenistic state of mind. It doesn't mean necessarily in this verse that you're an actual heathen, but you're heathen minded, right? And heathens, they're bastards. They do whatever they want with no consequence. And Jake lived in the same manner. So this is what it's talking about. It says the time past, we wrought the will of the Gentiles. Go ahead. That's gonna go out fast.
When we walked in lasciviousness.
Yeah, we walked in lasciviousness. Can we get that word?
Lasciviousness goes into Strong's G 766, unbridled lust, excess, licentiousness,
unbridled lust, access,
shamelessness.
I mean, so you're living out your lust, whether that be threesomes, running the train on a woman and having no shame in doing that.
Hey,
doing,
them like 4 or 5 females in Houston that stopped on the interstate and got out and started twerking. There's no shame. It's shamelessness. You know, women walking around in lingerie as clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't leave nothing to the imagination.
Right.
I hadn't seen everything I wanted to see. And mad when a dude come up on him on that kind of time. Just because I'm dressed this way doesn't make me a hoe.
So I mean, it's really being indulged in your lust, overly indulged in your lust, and you don't care if nobody see what you do. That's for the men too. I know the brother gave the example with the women, which that applies as well. But with the men, you just doing stuff and you don't, whatever. I ain't got no shame in my game. That's the term. Ain't no shame in my game.
Like Kevin Gates, someone eating booty.
Yeah, talking about you. And let's go.
Right.
I was thinking about that with him. He puts out a persona of God fearing, Allah, all that but he's a drug dealer and a booty eater. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's move on.
It says lust, excess of wine,
overindulging in alcohol. All right, overindulge. You just there's no limit, right? You keep drinking until you can't drive home. You got to park your car somewhere else. You keep drinking, or try to drive your car home and get into some BS. You're pretty much, what is it saying? You're putting yourself in a terrible position, right? Go ahead.
Reveling
like the brother went into, overindulging in big group activities, going to clubs and bars all the time, can't stay out of the club. Your attendance is perfect at the club. You know, you over perfect club attendance. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you ain't missed a day. All right. You know, but that's the thing. But also, that's something that's pushed by Esau Edom being through these entertainers too. You know, they show you how when you go to the club, they got why would they come up with a term called club bangers? So you can go to the club and like, man, you hear Glorilla new song, I gotta hear that in the club. You hear the baby, whatever. You find a reason to go to the club.
Yeah.
You find a reason to get out and just be out. You know?
It says banqueting and abominable idolatries.
You know, abominable idolatries. And that goes into these different holidays. You know, Jake go out their way to go spend $1,000 on Christmas gifts. You know,
that goes to Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, exactly. You know, you worshiping, which goes into worshiping different idols. You spend a round trip ticket to go out of town to celebrate Thanksgiving. that's always been the dumbest thing to me.
You spend,
you know,
$2,500 to get a hotel room and flowers and goddamn rose petals and three big bags of clothes and shit like that for a woman that's sucking another nigga dick, you know what I'm saying, next week.
Yeah.
It says, wherein they think strange of where we're in it, they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot.
Right. You a weirdo. Man, I don't know what type of time he on. And we experienced that in this truth, man. Man, well, you used to, but yeah, I don't. You know, now through the grace of power, YAHAWASHI outside, some of us were given that luxury and not having to go through any of that BS. But those of us that used to be at a point in time, we had people around us or people that know us, I should say. They be like, hey, man, you trying to do this, that? Like, no, I'm cool. Like, man, he don't never want to go. He don't come to none of the family functions. He don't. Because, you know, it tells us to be really amongst godly men. Because godly men, they ain't for all that reveling and banqueting and lasciviousness. You know? When we come into this thing, we are to live a different life, man. And those of us that have family members or friends in the world, you know, that we used to be indulging in these things with, they look at us as the black sheep. You know, but let's finish that.
Speaking evil of you.
Hey, I remember seeing a post. it was a meme, but you had like a mannequin. You had a mannequin that was kind of like this, and you seen a hand that was pointing. Hey, this nigga don't eat pork. This nigga he don't celebrate his birthday. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're ashamed for leaving those wicked ways. You're ashamed for changing your conduct into something more logical, beneficial, and righteous.
Romans chapter 12, verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Right, and can we get that word conform?
God.
Right? So, and you know, as the brother's getting that, you know, we're not to shape ourselves into the fashion of this world, man. If you got it, you get it, brother.
Strong's G 4964, to conform oneself, i.e. one's mind and character, to another's pattern.
Yeah, be locked in. You locked in with that, however the world is moving, you locked in with it. And that can happen to men that are in this gospel too. Because we're still in this flesh, so your flesh is always gonna tempt you to say, hey man, you know, you can still do this and still serve the Lord. But then that spirit will get stronger and stronger to the point where you don't realize how much you conform. Yeah, and now you all the way over there.
This is Jeremiah chapter 2 and 33. Why turnest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore thou hast also taught the wicked ones thy ways. You know, because like the brother saying, when you conforming yourself, that means like you have a standard and you're going against your standard. You know? So when you're trimming your ways, you know, it's the same thing. You're conforming your ways to to appease someone else. You know.
No, you good. You good.
Right. So, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Why are you conforming, or why are you going against your own moral system? Just to appease someone else, to please somebody else, so that they can, oh yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
But the whole time you're a piece of shit because you had a standard, and now you went against your standard, your own standard.
That's beautiful, because you're looking for validation from a bunch of people who don't have moral standards to fit their standard. We're not to fit this. We're not supposed to be trying to fit the standard of the world. At the end of the day, the Most High, we know what the scriptures say. The Most High, He don't respect the standard of the world. From the knowledge to their actions to their beliefs to these different religions, the Most High don't respect none of that. He respects those that fear Him and abide by Him, regardless of how stupid you may look in this community. So that is what it is. Because guess what? To the world, we look stupid. To the Lord, no, we're doing an honorable act. We're stepping outside of the standards of the world, man. Con. That brings me to the thought of what it says: the carnal mind is enmity with the Most High, which that enmity goes into is hostile. It's directly against the Lord. You got it, brother.
Ecclesiasticus 4:20. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul.
Right. It says, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. So when it's something that requires you to step back from your lust, to step back from things that's not benefiting you for the betterment of you, it is what it is, regardless of what the people outside may think. Like, this nigga a quitter. This nigga, why he don't want to? Because you're thinking about yourself for the betterment of yourself, man. And so the point that's getting to is don't let nobody make you feel bad about changing your life for the better, man.
About serving Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI. At the end of the day, it's like you're either going to be a 1/3, you're going to be a 2/3. And it comes down to serving Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI. So are you going to let people's validation overshadow, seeking the Most High's validation?
You're going to let their validation affect your salvation.
Lesson.
Was a lesson. I was a little bit more than that.
It says, verse 21, for there is a shame that bringeth sin.
Yeah. It's a shame that bringeth sin. What's that shame that bringeth sin is what? You fit in, you just start doing what everybody else saying that this is cool to do. They looking at me crazy if I don't do it. Let me just conform. Let me just go with it. Let me go with the flow.
The shame at the end of the day is, pretty much like an embarrassment, almost. So like they was going into earlier, as far as the revelings and the banquetings and following after the ways you used to. You almost embarrassed about how the family might be talking about you, how your friends might be talking about you, how the world is seeing you and viewing you. I know when we first came out, I used to see a lot of people I knew, I grew up with, went to school with, played ball with, whatever the case is. But after a while, you get immune to it. You know what I'm saying? They either respect the change and they'd be cool with you, or they can get the fuck on, just to be blunt about it. Because at the end of the day, what are you here for? Are you here to please the Heavenly Father, or are you here to please men? A lot of the people that we grew up with, they're not going to get this. They're not going to understand. Not even really the ones you grew up with, your family. All right? Because them was the first ones I chased after. Like, yo, you gotta. It only made sense for it to make sense, man. Because all of the dots was connected. Until the Lord showed me, he was like, hey, it's not for everybody. once I heard that whisper, I'm like, oh shit, all right. Well, I just be who I'ma be in the Lord. Because the same way we carry ourselves and the nations look at us, when you read Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, that should be the same way that the world look at us. Because technically the world is heathens compared to us. All right, even our people. Okay? That's why when you read in certain scriptures and it talks about the Gentiles, it talks about the heathens, it talks about the strangers. Some of those people dealing within the context is our people. All right? So, when you read, matter of fact, grab Deuteronomy 4 real quick. You go to start at 5.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahweh my power have commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither you go to possess it.
Well, this is Moses. Moses, when he like, man, damn, I see a bush burning and it ain't consumed. Let me go see what this is about. All right, okay. Oh, take my shoes off. All right, one of those. Okay. Oh, turning rods into serpents. All right. All right. Well, who am I to go before? You know what I'm saying? This is a whole new lifestyle. But see, a lot of people see, oh, burning bush is not consumed. Don't get me wrong. That's a beautiful situation. That's a beautiful situation, but the process that it came to, you know, was what him coming up under Egypt, being a prince of Egypt, so to speak. Then he stood up for a Hebrew. Then he had to go on a run. Then he met a wife. Then he had a family. Then he ran into the Lord. So he had, he had a bunch of stuff going on before it led up to that turning point.
Yeah, like two different lifetimes before he.
Yeah, because you ran away and started a new life. Now you got a family. Now you into another. So that's just how the change is. The spirit is like the wind. All right. The spirit is like the wind, so it's constantly moving. You gotta stay in tune with it, man. It's like I was watching this DJ dude, and he took two different songs like they normally do, and he was mixing them together, and the crowd was they was in tune with it. But as a DJ, I'm thinking of Trump. As a DJ, that's your job.
Yeah,
is to keep people in tune, keep them zoned in, locked in. Yeah. Okay, because if you mess up one day right here, you mess up, or somebody walk by, excuse me, unplug the equipment, they gonna be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So that's how you gotta be with the spirit. It's the spirit will flow this way, and the spirit will flow that way. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Go ahead, continue on.
God, it says, verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Yeah, this is our wisdom and our understanding. Can we look up those two words in the etymology? And through the spirit, man, I got a point this is leading up to, and Lord willing, I'm able to, keep that point and bring it out fluidly, man.
Yeah, wisdom, from Old English, wisdom, it says knowledge, learning, experience. Yeah, that's pretty much.
So this is your knowledge, your learning, this is your experience in the sight of the nations. What else? What other word?
That's it.
There was 2 words. The understanding goes into comprehension, the faculty of reasoning, the knowing power in general, ability to comprehend an explanation or interpretation.
Yeah, so like by the way you getting this knowledge, you getting these laws, these statutes and commandments. Well, it tell you in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. They call us counterfeits. They upbraided our ways. So it shows you the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding the Lord has given us. All right, that the way we help us carry our way into such as the nations look at us and like, go ahead. I ain't gonna jump the gun.
God, it says Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Yeah, that this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Go ahead.
For what nation is there so great, who hath the Most High so nigh unto them?
Yeah, it's not us. It's the power that we have beside us. It's the power that we have behind us. It's the power that we have in front of us. All right? It's the power that we have surrounding us that makes us a great nation. We didn't sit down and come together like, hey, I think it'd be good not to eat pork. Yeah, because you know them fucking pigs, man, it's unclean animals. Like, no. The Lord created all of these creatures and said, here, this is what y'all eat. Based off of the body that I gave y'all. Based off of the knowledge that I'm giving y'all. This is what y'all do to be what? Be sanctified. Yep. All right? Which means what?
To be set apart.
Set apart. Separated from who? The nations. Okay? So we can be sanctified towards the nations. We can be separated from them. Like Apostle Ramlan was going in on that chick. He said, shit back with them, man. They nasty, man. Let them have it.
I felt that, man. Yeah.
And surely enough, they is, man. Yeah. And the example that he used is the example that I see most, man. Yep. All right? You'll be in the bathroom and an Edomite will come in the bathroom and they do their business and they touch that damn doorknob and walk out, man. And I be really want to say, you nasty motherfucker. I be wanting to say that. You know, you say things loud enough so somebody can. Like, I'm in the stall if I'm taking a shit or whatever. Like, oh, you nasty motherfucker.
Right.
You know, everybody knows it's me because I'm the only one with my type of boot. So if you know it's me, oh well, you know it's me.
You're whoosh.
Maybe. But this is the thing, though. That's true, right? That's true. Most people don't want to hear that truth. But what if I was to say that to that person and they would be like, damn, he right. And they come back in there and wash their hands and start washing their hands after that. And then they see somebody else or run into somebody else like that. And then they say something to them. That's how this righteousness is going to spread. That's how this truth has spread, man. From one person correcting another and so on and so forth. All right? So this is just the ways of the Lord that he's given us. The spirit that he's given us, man. We'll look at him like, that shit ain't good. But our people have learned the ways of the heathen. Yeah. That's why they act like the heathen, man.
It says, back in Deuteronomy 4:7, for what nation is there so great who hath the Most High so nigh unto them, as the Lord Yahawah our power is in all things that we call upon him for.
Yeah, in all things that we call upon him for, because we're the ones that can pray to the Heavenly Father. Our prayers pierce the clouds. Our prayers reach the heavens, man. All right? Antiochus sure didn't. He still got what he deserved, you know?
The angels put a Dikembe or tumble on them prayers. It says, for and what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life.
But that word diligently.
Yeah. Well, you, okay.
You can read that part a little bit before
it. It says, only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen.
Go ahead. And the etymology, diligent goes to a constant in effort to accomplish what is undertaken.
You got the blue letter?
Yeah. I'm getting it. Here we go.
Okay, we'll get it after this.
It says, constant in effort to accomplish what is undertaken, attentive
Attentive, that's very important.
Assiduous, careful. It says to single out, value highly, esteem.
To single out, value like a pair of shoes or something. You know, you're attentive unto that certain pair of shoes that you singled out. Yeah, I ain't wearing them only on special occasions, man. And that's how these laws, statutes, and commandments are, man. All right, as far as to being diligent in them, okay, being careful in them, being attentive unto them, meditate upon the script, upon the what does it say in Psalms? Meditate day and night. You know, when you go into that meditate, it means to like think deeply upon it, even plan and practice upon it, man. All right. Now, IUIC, don't get too big. This don't mean this is gonna save you, man. All right. We rehearse the righteous acts. We keep them to our best abilities, but we can't be perfect. Why? Because it's many reasons. You got one, because we in this flesh. Romans 7 chapter to tell you about that, what Paul was speaking on. You got two, because we in this flesh. No, I'm joking. But you got two, because there was one man, all right? There was one man that set foot upon this earth that was able to keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. Okay, so three, that would put us on his level. What do we need to be saved for? We'd be, you know, because you're not saved by the law. You're saved by faith. Right. All right, and there is no way in hell, aka Babylon, aka America, aka this society, that's right, that you can keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, man. At all. The Lord, you telling me the Lord wrote these words? He wrote prophecies that was going to happen, and they happened, but he didn't understand that we was going to be living in this type of society in these last days with this devil putting monoglycerides in all your bread and sitting here not telling you if it's plant-based or animal or pork-based. You know, now you got to sit here and go through all hell, figuring, looking, and doing this and doing that. You know, however you do with that, you know. But this is the society that we're living in, man. All right. Welcome to America. Welcome to bitterness. Welcome to the devil's playground. That's a lesson right there. Somebody write that down. Welcome to the devil's playground. Is it more to that? Yeah, it's more to that.
Yeah, it's more. It says, back in Deuteronomy 4:9, only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently. It's cool. I just got to probably flip that what's the name around, if anything, but the iPad's cool. It says, least thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and least they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons.
Teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons, go ahead.
Especially the day that thou stoodest before the Lord Yahawah thy power and orb, when the Lord Yahawah said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children.
That's an important part, man, to fear the Lord. People forget about that part, man. All right. The reverencing the Lord. Okay, just like you got the fear the cops. All right, you fear your boss. You boss. No, damn well you ain't working, but it's that reverence, man. Yeah. All right. It's a form of respect. Okay, that's the fear it is, and fear him actually is. The Lord, the Lord will do you dirty, man. All right. I was sitting here thinking about Egypt, like, damn, he created a darkness that you can feel. Like, you just walking and darkness is grabbing you. Right. You know, because when you read in there, it speaks about they were seeing apparitions. That's spirits, man. Seeing demons and you know? Right. And I can tell you that shit's real. I ain't experienced like no paranormal activity type shit, but I've seen shadows, man. All right, I done seen shadows.
I got a quick reset. Yes, sir. Hey, quick precept. Quick precept for you. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 2, and the point is at 9. I'm gonna start at 8. It says, "Yet we have not prayed for the Lord that we might turn every one from the imaginations of his wicked heart. Wherefore the Lord watched over us for evil, and the Lord has brought it upon us."
Yeah, because he's balanced. He's just. All right. As his mercy, so is his judgment. You know, he's fair. All right. If we do good, hey, it's okay now. You'll be, if you do good, you'll be rewarded. You'll be rewarded, man. Like, why you tripping off him getting more recognition than you when he did what I asked him to do and you did the opposite? All right, go ahead.
Says, "For the Lord is righteous in all his works which he hath commanded us."
Yeah, the Lord is righteous in all his works. You know. Go ahead.
But yeah, just like you were saying, like it mentioned, he watched over us for evil, and like you were saying, like the Lord is balanced, because when we doing things, what you think is gonna happen, you know, that it as it applies to the rest of the world, it applies to us, it applies to everyone. So that's pretty much it.
Much more of us, though.
Yeah.
You know, because to whom much is given, much is required, man. Okay. Can we go back into that Sirach real quick? I was reading it for you, but I just want you to read it for me. Sirach 4:21.
This is Sirach 4 verse 21. "For there is a shame that bringeth sin."
So there's a shame, all right, an embarrassment, okay, that bringeth sins. Go ahead. Like his brother was saying earlier, people looking at you a certain way because you're not doing what they're doing. Let's get into the word shame.
You got shame in the etymology. It says painful feeling of guilt or disgrace, confusion caused by shame, the state of being in disgrace, dishonor, insult, loss of esteem or reputation, shameful circumstance, what brings disgrace.
Yeah, so loss of honor, dignity, being knocked down a peg. You know? So shame is hey, the Lord will put you in a very sorrowful place, and sometimes shame on ourselves. But I just want to get that word.
Back at Sirach 4:21, "For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and."
Listen to that. There's a shame where you feel like if you mention something or you reveal something that you would lose something, and it will cause you to do wicked things, to not tell the truth, to not be honest, normally not being honest, not being transparent. That's why we're supposed to set our affections on things on high and not do things for the men's eye service, because it'll cause you to deviate from your calling. Okay, because we're doing all this for YAHAWASHI, all right, which whom we cannot see. All right. So therefore, when we are bound, when we are base, when we go left, when we go right, when we go up, go down, all should be in his name, in his will. Okay? Because do things for man to be over left one day and then be right one day. It may be right one day and then be wrong one day. The Lord is always just, he's always correct. All right? He don't make any mistakes. So we're supposed to be doing things for his service. And when you get into a mindset of wanting to do it your own way, spare yourself, ultimately you're going against the Lord's will. That don't make any sense. If you're an actor in a movie and the director saying, "Nah, man, you gotta wear red because in this movie they wear red." No, I think I look better in orange. It's not about what you think.
Right.
You know, so within this gospel, it's not about what we think is best for us. You know, we're children, man. All right? Children, we kids. We haven't, to my years in this truth. I have what, about 15, 16? I think it's 17, 2009. About
15,
16 years old. Those are the dumbest kids on planet Earth, man. You know? So that's not too far in this gospel, man. So, you know, pretty much humility is very important, you know.
Reading back in Sirach 4, verse 21, the latter end, it says, and there is a shame which is glory and grace.
There's a shame. There's a lowering yourself that raise yourself up. Okay? To love not this world. That's a shame. Because it's a shame to your flesh in a way. You know, because the world, like, you won't get as many women. All right? You might not get as much money, popularity. All right? Matter of fact, let's get that 1 John. When it says the pride of life, these are things we put off. All right?
This is 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. It says, for love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Yeah, everybody like talk about love, agape, love. But it tells you love not the world. Okay? Now that shows you that there's multiple definitions, there's multiple contexts to that word world. Okay? Because Esau and Christians would like to say, oh, it says preach the gospel to the world. But in this scripture it says love not the world. So you not love them and then you preach to them, no, it's within context. Alright, and within definition. Alright?
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Yeah, and this world is pretty much, let's get to that word world. Interlinear.
Which is Strong's G2889, cosmos, an apt and harmonious arrangement or constitution, order, government.
A government, a society. Okay? Because a society can influence you to act and think a certain way. Alright? Just like with these transformers, you know, walking around. You'll be at work and they'll come up talking to you, and if you ain't got your wits about you, you'll feel pressure to call that person. You'll look at a male and they dress it up as a female, and you'll feel pressure to say her. You know what I'm saying? Like, or, you know what I'm saying, you'll get ridiculed or treated a certain way. If we come out and say we're Israelite, we get treated a certain way. Why? Because of the society. Okay? So we can't let the society pressure us, you know, into these things. So we come out of the world, we come out of, you know, and you got to know how to Clark Kent just giving a drop in the gym. Because if you got something like a transformer, I'll just call them by their name.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, why you call me Big Dog, but you keep calling him Roger?
Big Dog.
Big Dog. You know? So you gotta know how to be discreet. Yeah, discreet. Move in a room full of vultures, man. You gotta know how to do that. Everything ain't just because you're right don't mean that everything should be an argument. You know, some things you let happen. I'm walking by somebody in the gym and I always see them lifting weights, and I say, bro, you should get on that treadmill. Oh no, I'm good. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to get in the ring. And you're going to get beat, and I'm going to be leaning on the ropes. You're tired. You need to go run. Because that's the truth. That's what it is. You're going to get mad at me because I tell you the truth. But I am not being reckless with it. Okay? Sorry to deviate or digress, but this must be said because you could walk up. You know, hey, my kid did me that. You know what I'm saying? Try to stunt. Sitting there, and I'm dealing with her in front of a bunch of people, coaching. Oh yeah, he's trying to be funny. Your breath stinks. And I had to pull her to the side, like, don't do that to your family in front of people for a like. What the hell is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? You stick with your own. You know, regardless of my breath actually stuck, probably did. But the point is, that's not the time you do that. Okay? So it ain't saying that you got to tell people the exact right way, but you need to be seasoned with salt, man. Let's get that. We need to have our words seasoned with salt. If that was the case, Paul, let's get that. He says that he may gain the more. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know how to talk to people, man. All right, and then he talking about you gotta know how to talk to them. Okay.
Colossians 4:6. I'm gonna go up to 4. It says 5. It says, "Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time."
Yeah, walk with wisdom to them.
It's like I would say that's your front key.
Yeah.
You know,
Walk with wisdom to them that are without. So you don't just make God as Russia type, inside joke. You know what I'm saying? Just laying the hammer of knowledge and wisdom on people. They don't even know what Israel. They don't even know what the first book of the Bible is, and you just coming out with heaviness just to show how heavy you are, how fervent you are in the spirit. Okay, who cares? It doesn't matter to him. Okay, you on your way out to salvation. Okay, what does that mean for me? Right. So you swinging that sword around ain't gonna do nothing in our reality. It's just part of your achievements,
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 19. Sorry.
Verse 6, it says, "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man."
Yeah, because there's a proper way. You know what I'm saying? You got to analyze people like the boxers do, man. Those high IQ boxers. When they start off slow for the first 4 rounds, they're willing to take what comes in, and they have their base things that they push out. All right? Meaning you got to know how to talk to people. You got to know how to interact with a human being, not through social media. Okay, you got to know how to read people. Get off them damn phones. Get off the internet.
Yeah, they want an app where you can scan. Here, let me see. Oh, you in a bad mood.
Yeah. Like, you don't know how to address situations because you ain't sat at that lunch table busting the freestyles. You ain't been behind the school, you know what I'm saying, making bad decisions, making good decisions. Your ass behind the TV screen, that was me. So of course when it comes to interacting with a human being, it becomes difficult. That's why, but that's just another gem of me saying, hey, put the damn phones out. But when you get your words seasoned with salt, you know how to talk to people, man. You know what I'm saying? You could talk to somebody that got governance over you. You could talk to somebody that's underneath you, for lack of better words, like a child. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that all Esau's, but when you talk to a child, me preferably, there's 2 ways I talk to him. When I need them to understand something, I get eye level with them. You know what I'm saying? But when I need to let them know who's boss, I stand over them and look down on them. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a weight. There's an energy, there's a vibration, there's an understanding. Okay? If somebody that don't know the gospel, all right, they could be doing things in front of me that's off, I wouldn't even mention it. Am I omitting the truth? No. I'm gonna get on you, but for right now, the main priority is hoping you get understanding. So I'm trying to figure you out and let you talk so I can see where you're at. So I can tell you something that you can understand. All right? So we'll get that in definition.
Yeah, I had the definition, but it says for season.
Oh no, I want the other one. It was another word, but was another word.
I got that the precept.
Yeah.
It's 1 Corinthians 9, verse 19. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all.
Yeah. So we're free. Why we're free? This truth made us free. This gospel, YAHAWASHI, has made us free. All right? We're free from the world. We're free from the bonds of death, man. All right? Society and all this. You can't tell me the way I'm going ain't going to end well because this how society, you're not going to school. You're not going to be anything. You're just going to work like this. oh, you ain't gonna have no kids. You know what I'm saying? We're not bound to this world because we have a promise of things to come, and we have faith in that. All right.
I've seen this video. There was a guy. He went to like NASA, got a little degree, went to NASA to do this and that. Then he started working for IBM, and this is years back. So everybody was looking at him crazy when he said he was leaving that. He was leaving that to go start a cattle ranch. And they like, but you got a degree, you work at IBM and so on and so forth. And he like, well, I'm gonna take that knowledge and go put it towards that. You know what I'm saying? To the point where him just taking that risk and not going out the way how everybody else do. His kids got into it, his sons got into it, then his daughter got into it, and she was like real good with management and promotion. So all of them created a whole business to where she basically multiplied their earnings, for lack of better words. And it just come from like what's on your spirit, man? It's just like this is on our spirit. All right, to hell with what the world say, because we know through the spirit that this place is coming to an end, man.
Yeah, this place lacks creativity, man. This place lacks natural human flavors. It's like
a lot.
You ain't gonna never get another Dougie, man. You know what I'm saying? Look at the TikTok, man. You're never get a Dougie again.
Yeah.
The Dougies and the whip, mayonnaise, that shit is gone. It's gone. You know, conversations, rib sessions and shit, Jones and whatever Jay called it, building up that tough skin. Yeah. Sitting in the back of that school bus, getting your hairline ate up. You know, and of course, this black culture is bad, certain things, but you know, the natural human interaction has died.
Yeah,
and it's all because of Esau and his technology, man. Him trying to play God. Okay, the Lord don't have to merge us with machines. Okay, because He can naturally make our bodies live forever. And it was originally like that in the time of Adam. When sin came into the world, it was really death that came into the world. And through sin, we all died. Okay, that sin was disobeying the Heavenly Father. Okay? That's like the root cause to everything. When you stop obeying the Heavenly Father and what He wants you to do, then bad things happen, man. Okay? And ultimately, we're supposed to be going according to the will of the Heavenly Father. And that time was like, don't eat of the fruit of this garden. Sometimes it changes based off of a series of events. You know, don't make no sacrifice. Is that, if you just say that like as a straight out statement, is that a wicked thing to say? To tell somebody to not make a sacrifice? You'd be like, yeah, that's kind of awful. Isn't it be good to make sacrifices? Right? But the Lord told Saul not to make one, right? And for him to make one, it was a sin. So, you know, because my point is, Jake play these games with like fringes and shit. Play fringes games. Where your fringes at? And all this. Like, if you ain't got that on, you know what I'm saying? Because the law says it. No, you're supposed to go according to the will, man. All right? Our job is to be out here every day. Be out here on these highways every weekend, however the Lord permits. Be out on these airways in a unicorn every day as much as possible, to be on the wall of the tower to blow the trumpet anytime you see any single thing. You know, that's our job. But then you get the little finicky niggas that made it a club for whatever reason. Imagine this is a big ass castle, IUIC, GMS, all of us is within the castle of Israel. These niggas got in and they started making gangs and shit. Meanwhile, the brothers that always was on the walls started getting like, you know what, man? These niggas don't want to fucking get it. You know what I'm saying? The Lord gonna knock them out this castle, man. You know? And that's what's happening. All these niggas, they flipped the game. All right? That's why Scripture says, many called, a few are chosen. We're out here to call the elect. Not to have a sword swinging contest. Okay? That's why you niggas don't want to speak on the name of YAHAWASHI, IUIC. All right? And that man, y'all try to, and this is the thing, they always try to divert back to the law, okay? And the guy caught your ass in the trap and said, why you don't go to Jerusalem 3 times a year? And he tried to demonize it.
Yeah.
Do you go? You're the one that came to me about the law.
Yeah, you talk about the law.
You know? Wicked ass niggas, man. It's true, but the thing is that we fight with these demons. Everybody fights these demons every day, man. Some are stronger, but some has open. They armored up on the right side so they can show to everybody that, you know, you're always pointing to the right. But this bust wide open and demons is flowing in and out of it, man. That sellout spirit, all right, that go along, get along spirit. You know, mainly that sellout, bug out spirit is what's taking over, man. Okay?
That's what's manifesting right now. It's coming out. You know?
Yep. Doing things for filthy lucre's sake, man.
Yeah, because like the brother speaks, it's crazy. Speaking of filthy lucre, the brother sent the situation with the pastor and shit. Nigga, you can't lock nobody in no church. Like, how smart are you?
Where's your faith?
Like, close the door.
Where's your faith, man?
You feel me?
You know, like for real, like where is it? It tells you take no script. Don't do this, don't do that. Because the Lord will provide, man. Okay? Yep. Matter of fact, let's get that proven that when Peter said, clothes have I none, like money have I none, but food have I none. And he healed them, you know, through the spirit, man. You know? That's the thing, bro. Like, that's what it's really about within this gospel. It's not about hoarding up knowledge. It's not about having the most profound speech. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers really do it in sincerity though, so it can get misconstrued, man. Because hey, Zaquan Uriah out in Chi-Town and Elder Yakin, man, they gonna read. You know what I'm saying? But it's a sincerity, man. Yeah. And it you know, that's just how it work out. But when niggas is trying to yell, oh, you know what I'm saying? That theatrical voice, and is everybody saying it the same way? You know? Now you making the system all wicked and shit, man. You know? Now you got a IUIC app. Go there. Cause there ain't nothing but you're funneling revenue, man. You tired of splitting your revenue with YouTube. That's all that is.
Yeah.
You got so big that you don't need YouTube no more. You want the revenue all to yourself. I know. That's how it works. Work for people, work around people, and it was like, man, nah, we ain't gonna do it. It's crap. They're taking too much money. I'm like, hey, well, everybody trying to do it like that, right? No, like the real money is in them apps. Ain't nothing but a money move. Yes, you heard it. IURC TV. And I was like, yeah, YouTube page. It was like, oh, it's an app. Okay. Damn. Money, man.
Large in charge.
That's why y'all fighting not to say the name of the Lord. Try to quick flip it out there, flick it out there real quick. You know? Try to wicked as hell, man. Talking about his name is just. What did Joseph call him? Nigga, that's the real. Right. Let's get straight to it. Who Joseph called him? What did the angel tell Joseph to call him? Let's talk about that part. Why would the angel come down and say that if it wasn't relevant? Out of all the things, angels could have came down. I'm gonna tell you something. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Every day you said,
that's a waste of resource, right? That's a waste of resource just to have an angel just name you for no reason. And we all know that don't happen, man. Okay? Everybody wouldn't name like that.
For he shall save his people. Like, give him this name because of what he's going to do.
Yeah. It was another incident. What was the other incident? Y'all brothers know? Being named, the angel coming down naming. I'm not sure. These brothers first. We have the Lord, the angel came down and said, name of this. There was another incident in the Old Testament where it happened. Y'all brothers know?
Jacob name being turned to Israel.
No.
Oh, okay.
Was it Samuel? Or no, it was Samson.
Yeah, we got to find it. I thought brothers to have it, man. I ain't gonna disclose it. Huh?
No.
Oh, did you say it?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
But when the angel came down, that was Moses that changed his name.
Yeah. Nah. But it was reference. The angel didn't come down, but it was reference because of something happened. Come on now.
Well, I was thinking Joshua. Was it Moshe?
You should be ashamed. It's your name. What?
Gone.
Shit.
Gone.
How did he get named? Come on now. What happened?
But that was an angel.
See, that's what I'm
I didn't know.
I mean, it was who else? You know, you should have.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Gone.
I'm trying to receive what y'all saying, and it's just like, I get in there. Who else really would be doing that? Yeah, but getting back to it, man. Because you got to get into it, man. You got to get into these scriptures, man. At the end of the day, we got to, constantly dig, grow within this gospel, man, and connect dots. Just like because these niggas is being wicked as hell, man. You sitting out here saying, well, yeah, you over here, you gotta jump over here and jump over here to tell me what the name of the Lord is. Let's get what the scripture says that we're supposed to do with the scriptures when we read, man. All right? It tells you what? Precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Okay?
Isaiah 28:10. For precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
Yeah. So the point is, that's how you get your understanding. So we all know that. They know that. But then you get into the semantics and strifes of words. Tell me specifically where it says that. There's a lot of things that it don't specifically say. And you know it. So, because that's why you ask it like that. That's why it's coming more like the Al-Fasahar says, it's coming more and more obvious that they've taken the bag, man. You know? What is the problem with not calling for the name of the Heavenly Father, man? Okay? We're supposed to exalt that name. Anybody would do that. Okay? Serve you some good ass lamb. You go, hey man, where you get this from? They told me don't tell you. Don't tell you the name of the store. It's like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to know what the source is, man.
I got precept.
Yeah, we're not gatekeeping the name, man. He said to glorify his name. This should be his name from generation to generation. We supposed to put it out there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is Acts chapter 4, verse 12.
Yeah, that Acts go in.
Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved.
Yeah, and I believe this is the precept that brother brought out. You know, because regardless of I don't know him, and nobody else claimed him yet, so he probably just listened. But one thing that was true, what he was saying was true and needed to be addressed. All right, so it was the spirit that was moving. Okay, you don't have to be a part of GMS or a part of anything to do the will of the Heavenly Father. You know, and the spirit was on him to curse him out, man. All right, just like the man that was throwing stones at King David. That was like one of them events for Nate, man. You know, walking up throwing stones at y'all camp. Liar! What y'all was saying and yelling, that was really for y'all. Liar! Trying to tell him he's a liar. You're the liar. You're telling everybody the name is Jesus and then you know his name. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, that is not the Lord's name. It don't translate to that name, nor is that his name. The correct transliteration is Joshua, man. Okay? That is the correct transliteration of Yahawashi's name is Joshua. All right? Which is why some people say it's Yeshua. Okay? So why are you telling people the name Jesus? Because that's the name you've been told to use, man. That's what I truly believe. Okay? Well, I ain't got no money. You got an app. It costs money to start to power an app up, man.
Oh yeah.
Go ask Smack. Yo, you go ahead. Bring it on out.
This is Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 3. And they bend their tongues like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth.
Yeah, because look at the subject matters they're always bringing up. They're not valiant for the truth upon the earth. All right? Here it is. Y'all want to talk about, it's all like, why you ain't got your, look, sister, you can do better. You need to come over here. Look, brother, you an Israelite. Stand up. Straighten up. Straighten up. Stand like a man. All right, come over here. This is the recruiting process, man. You know? We here telling you, hey, man, go home and read, bro. Pray. The MOTB is this. This is what the Lord gonna do in the future.
Yeah.
We telling you, you walk up, we a different kind of car salesman. Look, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You a nigga that need a Corolla. You know what I'm saying? You got Corolla money. I looked at your background. They gonna try to fuck you over. You know what I'm saying? They gonna do you this. Look, I'm telling you straight up, bro. Take the Corolla and get you around. Make you payment, come back, and you can move. That's GMS. Telling you to straight skinny, how to get it done. All right? Y'all out here telling us this puppy here about to kill this man. You know?
The bumper fall off that motherfucker.
Yeah, selling the women. You know? All for the dollar, man. That's how y'all treating this truth, man. All right? Everybody, you shouldn't have to hustle this gospel, man. All right? Because the people who chooses this gospel are the people that belong in the gospel. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that you chose it, but it shouldn't have to be pushed on you like a sale.
You've been convinced through the Spirit. You've been convinced to.
Well, let's get the scriptures. Like, you go ahead, brother. We're gonna get the buy the truth and sell it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful point the brother made. But you don't have to push a certain narrative for individuals that believe to understand this truth. Because at the end of the day, what the Lord said, he said that my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. We don't have to do no extra. Yep. You know, even apostles speak on that. We don't need any antics. We don't need to have no advertisements, none of that,
so
man.
Let's get this real quick.
You know? Proverbs chapter 23, verse 23. Buy the truth and sell it not.
Yeah, though we purchase this gospel, we shouldn't have to sell it. So we shouldn't have to be no car salesman. All right? You got to come act like this, do this. Look, man, it's either you want it or you don't. All right? And the people that clearly want it, all those people don't physically fit the description, don't financially fit the description, don't characteristically fit the description. Okay? Jake be rough around the edges. Jake be looking like Edom. You know what I'm saying? Jake be looking like all kind of angles and aspects. Okay? Just like the other week, man. He had dude look just like Esau, man. May have been Edom, but he came up. And I ain't gonna, he a good ass actor because he opened his Bible up, took his notes, read along, said he had a preset. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know? Hey, he you know, so you can't be over here, Tazariak. Yeah, y'all, if you don't, your genealogy and you don't go back and see he going inside Jacob, so that y'all gotta sell this truth, man. Yeah. And only the silly women, let's get that. The silly women is the main ones that they target. I ain't gonna say not to, I don't know. I know IUIC does, but you know, ISUPK, you know, I call it, it's to all Israel. So it's a pitch. Okay? That's why you're going on these podcasts, you're getting money from that, man. Okay? It don't make dollars, it don't make sense. That's why the arguments are so base. Because all these only dumb niggas is on the internet spinning, you know, the people that don't read the Bible. And it's a lot of niggas. There's a lot of those of Israel who won't make it, and these other churches are entertaining these people with the gospel, and it's offensive. You know what I'm saying? These niggas that really don't want the truth but be hovering around, lukewarm ass niggas, that's who a lot of these other camps is chasing, man. Okay? Meanwhile, you got brothers that's out here, GMS primarily, and brothers that are outside, you know, will teach this gospel, okay? And are teaching this gospel directly and correctly, okay? Now, I'm not saying that Slakia, that these, because I want to point out as well that they don't have some type of sincerity within them. Because Tazariak could teach his ass off, and then he'll just say some wild shit. And you just be like, you can't say that.
Right. Yeah.
But you see the reason why he's saying it, because it's like, nah, I don't want to speak on this. We could go in and on about it, but that's why they try to always throw us under the bus, because just like the prophets are, oh, we fucking up the bread. We fucking up the money scheme.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's why y'all hate us, you know?
This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof.
Yeah, and that's what Nate is doing. If somebody say his name is YAHAWASHI, and you know it, you're just supposed to say, yeah, it is. Huh? That's all you're supposed to fucking say. That car that just drove by is a Chevy. They go, why are you mad at that? You know what I'm saying? That don't make any sense. Unless you're indirectly, you know, in defense. Because for one, you know what we on. You know what I'm saying? When I say we, GMS is on as far as that. So y'all already on the defense. But we told y'all, we ain't coming up to y'all, man. It's a waste of fucking time. Why would we pop out and say, do that? You know? We just get on you on the internet. We can just edify without all the wicked ass yelling. And because y'all just gonna try to just yell out greatness, just yell it out. So wait,
buzzwords. They gonna start it out with that.
Yeah, no, when you start getting in them, that's when they gonna. That's the end. Hey, these brothers are just gonna turn and look for other people. Wait till that crowd build up, and then lay that nuke on you. You know, but the thing it's okay, because anybody who believes that is stupid. Why are you saying that? And this is what they're known for. And they're standing out in the street. Somebody call the police.
Why you ain't called?
Yeah, why you ain't call the police? If I am, call the police then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to sue the hell out of you.
I'm going to sue the fuck out of you. I see you in court.
I see you. We on film. YouTube. I see you in court, buddy. Yeah.
But it sounds good. It messes with the emotions of the people, man.
Yeah.
All right. And our people know that. Shit, all the different religions and derogatory terms our people been called throughout the history, like they know that type of shit plays with the emotions, man.
Because these niggas Americanized. Y'all all talking about the law, but y'all omitting the weightier matters. For real. Like, let's get that real quick. I actually did a lesson on it, man. You know, I had to upload it, but I was through yesterday night. I was out. Boy.
This is Matthew chapter 23, verse 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites.
Yeah, the actors. They'll take on certain fonts of this truth, but they don't want to take on all of it because this societal norm goes against it heavy. And a lot of things that are against women, they're going to be against. That's a societal norm for women here. You know what I'm saying? They're like the single woman thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say, oh, if you get multiple women, you know what I'm saying, you're really weak, low key. It's like,
That shit is trash, bro. That shit trash.
Anything. But the thing is who they're leading the way who? Silly women.
Yeah.
You know?
Aiden was saying.
It's just that we don't got the paperwork to say your congregation and has this. You know, that's why they want families and shit. They want households. You know?
and through the spirit, at the end of the day, we ain't going all our way to prove that. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity is there to defend the gospel and edify, key word, edify the believers, the elect and the hopefully elect, then we capitalize on that opportunity, man. Yeah.
For ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin.
They do their job. Burgers and fringes.
Right.
You know?
Cookouts.
You got the soups.
Special guests at Passovers.
Yeah. You got your Sabbath service, your functioning, you got all kinds of stuff. You got the TV shows. You know, your kind, you got your fringes, you got your keep the laws, all the ones that the niggas think you keep. You know, because none of y'all don't walk around with phylacteries on. You know, like that brother said. You know, at that point he was being a brother. So I'm not vouching for him overall. You know, but he was in defense of the gospel when he said you don't go to Jerusalem 3 times a year.
That is in the law.
You know? And they couldn't say nothing, man. Caught him. So the whole concept was you bashing me about a law and you don't actively keep a law. Right. You be having a Passover service. So you know about the Passover where it's supposed to be kept. You know? So you know better. And you choose. So it's like now we playing a game of semantics, but really it's always been a game of semantics. It's just that we were the only ones that coming up and speaking on it, and y'all already painted GMS in a demonized light. All false prophets gonna do that. What else you gonna do? Say yeah, they right, but fuck them. You're not gonna say that. You're gonna try to find something, just like they try to find something on Daniel, man. You know, but you're only gonna raise the truth up. Just like vocab, he helped out the ministry, man.
Yeah, there's nothing against the truth before the truth. I say you're gonna hurt yourself, because just like the men that try to frame Daniel, they ended up, getting thrown in the lion's den.
Yep.
And the lion's den is gonna be the Lord judging your ass, man.
Yep. These niggas gonna be thrown in that same type of den, man. Because we're thrown in that fire, that adversity. Just like, hey, Sakari, all that slander on us was lies. So ain't nothing really come down and swing like that because nothing was happening. You know what I'm saying? We were guiltless, right? Boom. Now, I ain't speaking for, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the men of the Lord, the hopeful elect. Okay? But at the end of the day, Sakari went through it and it just tanked fast. And look at everybody helping him up. Yep. You know what I'm saying? People of the world. The world will love his own, man. You know? And we see it. You know? But it's a beautiful thing because it's showing you everything is manifest. All right? The end is manifesting. Showing you what doctrine's gonna stand strong, because that's what it's really about, this gospel, man. No matter what camp you in, if you're speaking this truth directly and correctly, and doing according to the will of the Heavenly Father, then it's gonna stand strong. Simple and plain. It's just that when you're talking about a unit and a force, you know what I'm saying? You can clearly see where the Spirit's working at, and that's a GMS, man. All right? People mainly pushing the MOTB constantly speaking about the end. Jake is trying to tell you how to maintain in America, man.
Yeah, we man, trying to get out of here. Like,
trying to get the hell up out of here. You telling me about college and shit? That irritates me. Fucking think about that.
Sound like a 5-year situation.
Yeah, it ain't like Jake dumb. Jake could go, but I'm about to get out of here, man. I just maintain what I got until I get up out of here. Now, if you get what you get a little extra, you're gonna do something.
Like, Al-Azhar was addressed in a situation, the Cap Tazariak was mad that people was defending him, but I went and checked the comments, and a lot of people in the comments was like, okay, we understand, we get it, can we be edified now? Like, I'm talking about multiple comments. So it's showing you
The world will love its own.
you know, like
The world will love its own. So that shows you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna root when we go down, man. the whole social media.
hey, but and it tells you what it says that in Wisdom of Solomon, I believe it is when the things happen unto the righteous, they look at. Can somebody grab that? When a righteous man falleth. It's something to that effect, but it speaks about how the people look at it like it's their judgment in a sense, but they not understanding that, you know.
This Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 and verse, I'm gonna start at verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die.
Yeah,
and
that part. Yeah. Go, keep going, my bad.
It says, and their departure is taken for misery, and they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace.
Yeah, and now ultimately it's talking about men of the Lord who have passed on in this truth. But like the brother said, we go down this world, man, they gonna celebrate, man. You know what I'm saying? All in all, the Lord has still got us covered, Lord willing, man. All right, and we know once that persecution happened, that type of shit start popping off.
Because Jake trusting in the shadows of Egypt, and that wall's gonna fall.
Yes.
All right. When that wall falls, where's your oil at? Because you're gonna have to either rely on the government or rely on YAHAWASHI. And that's gonna be the same people that's gonna be rounding you up, doing what they want with you. Just like they was doing in the medical field, they were doing in slavery, they were doing in Jim Crow, after Jim Crow. You know what I'm saying? And people, if they really got the right, they'll do some stuff to you, man.
Then on top of that, who you gonna call on?
They're gonna inject you with all kind of shit that they're gonna prepare for everybody. Jake gonna be
with everything.
Jake gonna be the first cyborg. As soon as they round everybody else in these concentration camps, they're gonna start injecting Jake up with shit. Let me see what happened to him. But we need to make people, you know, we need to make a docile. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to hit them with this. Nigga chill, like, all right.
The chin start sagging.
Yeah. Your ass just go to work, don't complain, not to hit another nigga woman. That needle, right? If they stop, they're gonna be working on that shit for like years. I'm joking. They ain't gonna be that long. But the whole point is that when they get you up in them, you gonna get round up, and then. Imagine you've been playing with this gospel and not really working on yourself, working on your walk. You know what I'm saying? Because there's things you got to overcome, and the Lord's going to allow. Let's get that. It says the Lord provided a way out with the temptations.
Because that oil, it's not like actual oil. It's this word. It's this truth. It's this gospel, man. If you ain't got it in you,
and it's living it.
Yeah, it's living. That's what. Yeah, it's living it, not just carrying the scriptures around. Like, no, you gotta read this and apply this, man. All right. When you read it, bam. Okay, this is how. You know, all right. Also, unto your verse, you add temperance. I need to work on my temperance. Add godliness. Add charity. You gotta practice these things. You gotta apply these things, man.
The Lord's gonna allow situations like that to happen, and He'll provide a way out.
Because it said a man that can't see those things, a man that lacketh those things can't see afar off, man. But if you keep those things, then it's impossible for you to be fruitful in the gospel of YAHAWASHI.
That's a prudent mind. That's a mind that's looking, okay, I'm doing this for this reason ultimately. You're not just living in the moment, okay?
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There had no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
Yeah, they have no temptation. Let's get into that word temptation. All right.
Just Strong's G3986, which goes into an experiment, attempt, trial, proving. A trial, proving, let me see, the trial of man's fidelity, integrity, virtue.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys' system is innately set up to ignore the temptations. You know what I'm saying? By like falling into it in a way. You're not standing up. You're not saying that I'm about to resist the world. Maybe if I do it that's like that nigga that just can't diet right. Just stop drinking juice. Drink water. I'm gonna drink Diet Coke. No, just drink water. It's over. Put that shit in reverse. You know what I'm saying? Do the opposite. Just stop.
Just drink water.
Just drink water. Stop doing it. And it'll work.
They got Pepsi Zero though.
Pepsi Zero. That's these guys. IUIC. Okay, you could be an Israelite. You better have your fringes, but you can have a lineup with long hair.
Right.
That don't make no sense. You can teach, and you can wear a hat, and you can still be a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? You can do it in the butt.
That shit.
As long as you're a woman. No. Like these guys say and do anything. And I ain't gonna say it's just reckless, but they'll be on point and then they'll veer the fuck off because really they're just empty vessels, man. That's reciting old poems. For real. That's why there's no growth there. Ain't gonna be no true growth, no. There's some people that are involved. Like you can tell, Zayak's involved. Alazar was involved, but it shows you if you off, you off. A little leaven if the whole lump, man. That's just it, man. You gotta walk uprightness, truth, and sincerity. And if you do, you won't be going that far. Yeah. You won't veer off that far, man.
Catch yourself.
Now, at the end of the day, it's up to the Lord if he's forgiven or not, because he didn't blaspheme the Holy Spirit. But you still got to be held accountable for you got to live out that judgment. Yeah. David, went through what he went through. If you do something, you still got to fix it. You still got to go through whatever you're going through, but you, all right.
I don't see that nigga fixing. I see him relishing in it because, like, if everybody was coming against him still, then he'd be crying and shit for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
He's proud.
Yeah.
Pride goes before destruction, man. It's a very powerful thing. An ego, reputation, the pride of life. It's a drug, man. And that's why doing things for the Lord will extremely quench that fire, because you're no longer doing things for your flesh anymore. You're doing your personal living purpose is to do His will. Now we live in the flesh, so we're gonna want to eat, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you gotta walk in the spirit, so you don't fulfill the lust of the flesh, as the scripture says. You
want the rest of this precept?
We got some, yeah.
There had no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who would not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able.
Yeah, you see. So you're gonna be able to take it, but it's gonna feel like you can't sometimes, or it's gonna be a struggle. You might don't want to, and you got the power to make that choice. I don't feel like yielding. I don't have to. They can't stop me. And then something happens. They may have not been able to stop you, but something bad happened from that. Then now you're like, damn, I wish I would have made that decision. Right? So it's a bunch of ways where you could fall to temptation. It ain't that you just weak. You could be lacking self-control. Ultimately, that's what it is. Lacking self-control. You're weak to something. Some people don't got no emotional control. Some people don't got discipline. And that's why we die daily. That's why we constantly supposed to work on ourselves so that we can present ourselves worthy. Not only doing this work and teaching, but your everyday walk, man. Your everyday decision making matters. And your failures is not the end of you. But you don't get comfortable with that. Have some dignity, nigga.
that video you sent with the where the lady was listing off of the things. One of the things she said, people don't see they see your decision, they don't see your choices or something to that effect. You know.
Yeah.
So it's you can be whatever you want to be in your mind, but it's about what's seen of people, man. All right, going back into the shame unto glory and grace.
Yeah. That's why that hindsight 2020, when you do something and you fuck up, and then somebody say, "Hey, you shouldn't have did that." I know. It's like, no, of course you know now. Yeah. So you gotta let me have this moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? I know I should have did. It's like, let me have my moment. I'm just seeing this shit. You know, you sat down and thought about it and came out to be this. Like, I can't deal with nature. What the fuck? Like, I don't know. That's how Jake is at times. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's how them niggas definitely are. They don't get on nobody, just somebody get on them. You know, they just, in this walk, you guys gotta have some integrity, man. You know, and we have to walk in the light, pray that the Lord protect us. That's just it. You know, anybody got something? So somebody's holding something.
Oh yeah, I had something. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 20. It says, verse 19. It says, "What know ye not that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which ye have of the Most High, and ye are not your own, for ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify the Most High in your body and in your spirit, which are the Most High."
Yeah, God, to glorify YAHAWASHI, man. Glorifying His name, glorifying His deeds. Okay, His account, what He means to this whole cause, and this whole heavenly host and the earthly host and our nation. We're glorifying that. We're putting that on the forefront, man, in every way. We're not arguing about the pet. That's YAHAWASHI. That's His name. So yeah, He up there. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's Him. I'm not saying no other name. All right. That's how I'm exalting it as high as I possibly can in the highest format, as it said in the Paleo Hebrew, man. Okay. That's a part of it, and His works. Shabbat, when you not the Shabbat, but the Pesach, you eating that drinking that wine, man. Even on the Pesach, not the Pesach, that as well, but the Shabbat, when you're drinking your wine, that's His name. That's within His blood, man. All right, and that's the blood that He shed, the blood that's on the doorpost, that was on the doorpost, that blood that's on the doorpost of our minds. All right, that Holy Spirit giving us utterance. Got our mind open and closed to the bullshit. So that way we ain't walking around like these niggas. Because the Lord can take the truth away and put an evil spirit on you, man. You know? So it's a blessed thing. And that's the reason why we should be doing it the right way, man. You know? Like you could fuck around go fuck around with your woman, go fuck around with your kids. You know, not in no wicked way, but you could sit there and give them pop rocks and hot tamales and candy, and you'll still have a chance of the kingdom. But don't sit here and play with this gospel, man. You can't play with this truth. All right? You can't sit here and treat this truth secondary. All right? Just because you're doing it, but you putting in that's the last thing I'm gonna do. No, you gotta, hey, when you wake up in the morning, what can I do here? All right? Because again, this world can choke you, world can definitely choke you up. So we have to stay consistent in good nature. The only way you can do good things is if you put the good things first. Don't say, I'll do my good thing later because I'm a good person. I'm going to end up doing it. Nah, you just do it all the time. Get it out the way. Dig? But that being said, man, may we all, we are amongst the hopeful elect, man. May we remain, pray, focus, and get there. And for the rest of these niggas, man, they gonna keep on doing what they're doing. All these other camps, and we're just here to set the record straight. Nobody mad at y'all. Y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do.
Everybody got a part to play.
Yeah, everybody got a part to play. We're gonna call it out. We writing on all y'all to the Lord.
No cases on all.
With that being said, with all praise to
Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Sarkodash.
Shalom.
I mean, I don't speak Spanish, just a little bit, but not, nowhere near what we understand each other. Yeah, but we teaching about our people. What I was going to tell you though, the tribe of Ephraim, we believe we represent the northern kingdom, right? And what? And then